On the 23rd November 2025, a catastrophic volcanic explosion occurred in Ethiopia. For the first time in nearly 12,000 years of recorded history, a volcano named Haylig erupted. The explosion happened so suddenly and rapidly that people standing kilometers away said it felt like a bomb had exploded. A massive ash cloud of about 500 feet in height was released. The cloud was so large that it was visible from space. You can imagine how the explosion was, because the ash cloud traveled first over Oman and Yemen, then gradually reached Pakistan and India. As a result, many flights in Delhi were cancelled because flying near these ash clouds is very risky. These ash clouds contain tiny particles of rocks, glass, and crystals. If they get into an airplane engine, they can easily shut it down. Additionally, these tiny particles act like razor blades on the airplane windows. If these particles land on cockpit windows, they will scrape the glass like sandpaper, causing such severe scratches that the pilots won't be able to see anything ahead. That's why flights were cancelled not only in India, but also in the Middle East. And now, this ash cloud is slowly heading towards China and Myanmar. The volcanic eruption was so powerful that the sound of the explosion was heard in cities 190 kilometers away, and neighboring Djibouti felt earthquake tremors. Several villages in Ethiopia's Audera region, about 28 kilometers away, were completely covered in ash. However, the good news is that no lives were lost. This is because the volcano is located in a very remote area with no people living nearby. In fact, this area is considered one of the hottest places on Earth. This place is called the Danakil Depression. The entire region lies below sea level, with temperatures often exceeding 50–55 degrees Celsius. And rainfall is almost non-existent. It is a fascinating area for both geologists and tourists. Geologists find it interesting because it is a highly geologically active region with numerous volcanoes. Tourists find it interesting because of the colorful and unique scenery created by chemical reactions. It looks unlike anything you would expect on Earth, with amazing yellowish, greenish, blue colors due to these chemical reactions. Now, you may wonder why this volcano suddenly erupted after thousands of years. The reason behind it is an interesting story about the African continent slowly splitting into two parts. Yes, you heard it right. The tectonic plates are shifting in the region where this volcano is located, causing the African continent to split into two parts. Millions of years ago, all the continents were connected as a supercontinent called Pangaea. You may remember learning about it in school. Over time, Pangaea broke apart and our modern continents were formed. Now, a new tiny continent will be formed in a few million years called Somalia. The part of Africa where the volcano is located is slowly splitting away from the rest of the continent.
In Africa, at one point the African tectonic plate and the Arabian tectonic plate were together. But as they slowly drifted apart, the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden formed between them. Now, what's happening is that the African plate is also splitting into two parts, the Nubian plate and the Somani plate. In the region of Ethiopia, where this Haylig volcano is located, three plates, Nubian, Somali, and Arabian, meet. These plates are gradually moving away from each other, causing the land to split into three parts. This area is called the Afar Rift, which is part of the larger East African Rift system. Look at the southern part of this rift in Africa. You will see a continuous line about 6,000 kilometers long, running from the Red Sea through Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania, Malawi, and Mozambique. This is the line along which the African continent will split into two parts in the future. Now, when I talk about the future, I am referring to geological timescales, so from a human perspective, it will still take a long time. Scientists believe it could take between 5 to 10 million years for this complete split to happen, as these continental plates are moving apart at a rate of 2 to 5 centimeters per year, which is about the same rate as your nails grow. But that doesn't mean everything will happen slowly. There are many volcanoes, mountains, and lakes in the East African Rift system, like Mount Kilimanjaro, Mount Kenya, and Ale, a famous lava lake in Ethiopia. There are also several lakes formed by the continental plates drifting apart, such as Lake Malawi, Lake Tanganyika, Lake Albert, and Lake Kivu. If you look at things from this perspective, you will realize that what is happening is not unexpected. As the plates continue to drift apart, we will see earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and cracks forming in the ground in this area. In fact, in recent years, many such events have been observed. For example, in July 2025, another volcanic eruption occurred near Haylig when the Erda Ale volcano erupted. In the same month, white smoke also came out of the Haylig Gugubi volcano, and scientists had been keeping an eye on it. In 2005, a huge crack, 60 kilometers long,